Welcome back to the Morning Brew with Larry Aarons. My name is Erin Muffletto, and today is Friday and it's film day. So we're here with Dan to talk a little bit about film and what's happening on the big screen this weekend.
Well, what's happening on the big screen this weekend is a little better than last weekend, and as I predicted, The Croods was the best movie to go see,
I saw that.
And it ended up being the #1 movie in the box office. And the one that I said will probably disappear pretty quickly, Admission, disappeared pretty quickly. So this weekend seems a little more fun. Well, first of all, it's for the guys out there. We have G.I. Joe Retaliation, but here's the big one that's a lot of the twihards are going to be interested in. It's something called The Host. So if you guys are interested in that, it's by the same writer, Stephanie Meyer, and it's a movie that it's not in the same world of vampires and werewolves and falling in love with a dead guy or whatever, but it's basically about an alien species has kind of taken over everybody, and the last remaining humans are trying to fight off this alien species. But the way the aliens kind of take people over is they inhabit their bodies.
Oh,
so
good.
they kind of like...
Do they look like us?
They are us.
Oh, they are us.
They just go inside
they
your
kind
body
of
and
take over your body,
Oh.
and I think this is what is teased in the trailer. I haven't read the book, so I'm sorry, Twihard fans out there that that have read it. But I think that there's one of the people, or one of the females. She has her body taken over, but yet she's able to kind of fight back,
come out of
and
that.
still kind of like.
So she goes between alien and real.
Yeah, and that character is
person.
played by Saoirse Ronan. So she's kind of fighting her way out of it. And the beautiful thing about this movie is it's shot here in New Mexico.
Hey.
So a lot of the local film crews and actors, you might start seeing some people that you recognize sneaking through there. So I love all films that are made in New Mexico, because I like to see my friends and family members in movies, and that's what I really enjoy.
What I really love is you always see somebody, like, even if it's like 1 second walking by in the background, but like, I know that person.
He serves me coffee.
There was a photo in the Journal yesterday of the stars with the shiprock in the background, and it kind of looks alien-like.
Yeah, it's kind of
right
cool.
context, you know.
The shiprock. The one thing that I hear about this movie is that there's a lot of waiting. So not a lot of stuff is happening. They kind of like hold themselves off and disappear, and then there's a lot of waiting. So
just
there's
anticipating the next thing.
Absolutely, and that's kind of one of the big hesitations that I have. But if you're a Twihard or a big Twilight fan, you might be interested in checking this out. Even though this one didn't really take off, Stephanie Meyer is still keeping her fingers crossed that this one takes off.
Now, we said earlier on the Morning Brew here that part of the film was shot on this very soundstage, right in this room.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, this is.
You feeling that alien vibe in here, or
I
what?
feel like I'm stepping on alien territory or something. All right, the other movie that's coming out this weekend is for the guys, and boom, hit it. All right, we have G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Cool. Is there explosions and stuff like that in it?
Absolutely.
Good.
That's all I have to say. 'Cause you have your G.I. Joes back, and I personally enjoyed the first G.I. Joe, even though people hated it and critics didn't like it. I enjoyed it. Why? Because I played with G.I. Joes as a kid.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was awesome. But this one is. The only problem I had with the first one was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love the guy. He's a great, fantastic actor in everything other than G.I. Joe. The reason why is because he played a character that we all loved that it didn't really fit for him. I kind of wanted somebody else, and I know it was supposed to be a big surprise that he was that character. I'm not trying to spoil it here, but it just wasn't, it didn't work. He didn't fit it. So guess what? They did a wonderful thing in G.I. Joe Retaliation and didn't have him back. So unfortunately, that's a good thing because I really like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but what they did do is they brought Bruce Willis.
Look at it.
You know what I love is how old is Bruce Willis? And he's still in these big macho movies doing his thing, and people love him.
He's fantastic. You can't go wrong with John McClane in a G.I. Joe flick.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna have to say,
he loves blowing stuff up.
at his old age, he could retire and blow things up. This is amazing. So, but the thing is, I don't know if he's going to be doing any more action flicks for any time sooner. I keep getting these like hints that he's going to retire, and by seeing interviews that you could tell that he's just going to do the last few, maybe retire, and then tip his hat and give the John McClane character to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think I have a feeling there will be a reboot fairly soon of Die Hard, and it's not going to be starring Bruce Willis as John McClane, which will be a very, very sad
Well, didn't
day.
we in the latest Die Hard, wasn't his son introduced? Maybe he carries that legacy.
I think that's what they were trying to do.
I think so.
But the problem with that is that movie was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole movie was just one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was a waste of time.
And I like the Die Hard series.
I love the Die Hard series. It was like they took my childhood and they decided to add a second character and destroyed it and blew it up just like another Die Hard movie. But it just didn't work for me. It wasn't, the ending was awful. It felt too short. It felt like they wrote the story and then all of a sudden they snipped off the end and were like, oh, well, we need to make it shorter because we're going a little too much on budget exploding things. So can you just end it here? Oh, okay. They snip off the end. They write in a really awful ending that the antagonist does. And it's like, what? That makes no sense. And even there was no real stress or conflict to bring us to that ending. So I'm gonna have to say that movie was just a waste of my time.
But G.I. Joe is a go for guys.
It's a go for guys. It's a G.I. Joe movie. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be an awful action flick. But that's the reason why you're going to see G.I. Joe. It's not like it's a toy. It's like basically when I was a kid, I used to have my G.I. Joe figures and I made stories up.
Now you can.
You get to see the little stories come to life and watch things explode at the same time.
And Dwayne The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's my hero. He's a really cool, fun, nerdy guy that is a big action hero, an action star. Also in this one is going to be Channing Tatum. We have Jonathan Pryce. It's going to be a really good, exciting. Well, it's not going to be really good. It's going to be an exciting movie. If you really like G.I. Joe, it's something that's going to fulfill that need of yours.
Dan Gutierrez is with us. Dan is the host of a radio show nationally called The Director's Cut.
Yes.
Added another station, I hear. So you're on 29 stations across the country, based here in Albuquerque.
Yes.
It's all about movies.
We just added WOXO in Maine.
Very good.
So it's very weird that if you're driving in small cities, you might hear me.
You'll hear Dan.
All right. We're going to talk about the TV show Breaking Bad in just a moment.
Yeah.
As part of our Check Your Local IQ segment. That's all coming up here with Dan Gutierrez, and he even brought Breaking Bad donuts.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into some of that. We'll be back in a moment here on the Morning Brew. I'm Larry Aarons. Stick around. More to come in a sec.